Hey, ChaosTrainer fans and ChaosCraft fans. I just wanted to run a quick video updating you guys on some of the new stuff we got going on here. So, one of the biggest things that happened is with Neat, you basically, like I've explained this before, but in case you just a refresher, you have multiple species. In reality, we have 20, but I'm just showing the top 5 there. And each species basically has different neural nets that it has in it. So this is a neural net here. And actually, well, this guy's already bred. This is made up of 23 genomes. Most of them he got at Gen 0 when he first was spawned. And then if you look at Gen 4, he received another neuron. Gen And then what actually happened is this is the beginning of another bot's neurons that it was actually bred with from a different species. And so these neurons come from different generations, different bots. So if I were to look at this one, that's a species 12 one, species 12, species 46. So you see, and it's actually in state disabled, which means it should have lower alpha, but it doesn't, of course. So I'll have to look into that. But and so yeah, so we've got the breeding cleaned up a little bit. What's really cool is I also added, this isn't as exciting for you guys, but it's more exciting for me, is I added object pooling, so that way it reuses the same assets in Unity instead of spawning new ones, which saves us a big performance hit. And additionally, I did a couple things to fix performance, but one of the biggest things I did, which is kind of funny, is I just made it so they can only spawn every quarter second. So you see it takes a second to populate the whole thing. Additionally, and I did a video on this, but I didn't release it, they all should have roughly the same generation for the most part. You can actually see that as I say that some of them aren't, which is a conundrum, but I'll get back into that. So they move more uniformly, and what you'll see is that towards the end of a simulation, they'll stop spawning these guys. So I have it set at 300, and what happens is ones that score 0 get 0% of the 300. So I actually just give them 3, just bots out of the population to spawn, and so 2 of them must have been like that because that's why it's at 306 at the end there. And so at generation 15, we could see here, we had a really good run earlier today that is on Twitch if anybody wants to see it, where we were watching the, because this takes up a lot of processing power, and we're watching that. And if you guys want to see some of my bloopers, I think there was at least 2 Twitch streams, but one of them, the neural nets were just insanely complex. But that is actually a pretty decent looking neural net for, what are we at, generation, what is this guy? Generation 15, that's actually a pretty beefy neural net for generation 15. This guy must have a lot of breed events in his behaviors. So a lot of these guys have mutations. If you look back, settings, BrainMaker settings, I've only got the breed chance down to 10 right now. I've got the mutation chance up to 90, and then these are the various mutations it can do. Not a lot of them are creating sounds, which is interesting. You'd think that seems to be a random occurrence that happens more often than not, but not important. Man, I really wish OBS the thing had a pause button. But yeah, these guys are cruising. I think I could speed it up a little faster. That messes with the physics of it. But yeah, we had a really good run earlier, and I anticipate that we're going to see him be able to solve the maze within 60 generations here. I did earlier today, so I'm assuming it's going to be possible. See, there we go. We've got one of them. We got a runner. I can't click on him because I'm moving too fast. And if you guys want to see, we can look at his brain real quick. And he's using 3 of his memory neurons, like can see a tile that I remember touching before, basically, to control. Actually, yeah, all three of them he's using, which is cool. So if we look at that, we can actually see where he remembers being. So if he sees a tile that he can remember being on, then that fires off that neuron, which is pretty cool. So that guy did real well. You should have a bunch spawning. You should have a bunch spawning in the next generation that have similar behaviors to him. But yeah, going to time scale 8 at 160. This is actually really this is really moving fast. So this is pretty cool. Yeah, for generation 24, I'm not. This isn't that amazing. Like this isn't that surprising that they were not seeing higher levels of behavior here. But yeah. Well, I'm not going to keep this video too long. I just wanted to show you guys. I'm going to release a new beta for anybody that's, or alpha, I mean, for anybody that's signed up for the alpha program. So, I'm watching random stuff on YouTube here. So if and you guys want to check me out on Twitch, it's Schematical Games. I should start adding that to the show notes. I will start adding that to the show notes. Discord, there's always a good conversation going on in here that'll keep you guys up to date. Feel free to check me out on Patreon. I should put that link in the show notes more often. And yeah. Oh, and Twitter. It's Schematical. So feel free to check me out on Twitter. All right. Thank you guys. And let's take one last peek over here. I think Chrome's eating up all the memory on this laptop. We're about to get to more complex gameplay than just mazes, so that's a big thing. So, something's eating up the memory. Oh well, probably OBS. Thanks everyone.